Hi, welcome to Room to Grieve podcast. We're your hosts, Karen and Bec. Grab yourself a cuppa, find a comfortable spot, and we'll journey through grief together.
Can't say good morning, it's good afternoon.
It is good afternoon today, yeah. You all right?
I thought you might wanted to chat because obviously it's the day before Brad's birthday and I thought you
Yeah.
might needed to chat. So to kill two birds with one stone and we'll do a podcast.
Yeah, I'm angry.
Oh, why?
I guess it's just, don't know. My dad just texted me and said, how you feeling? And I was like, sad, angry, heartbroken. Take your pick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Who's the anger at? The anger at the thing in general or people or?
I think it's just at life in general, but I'm taking it out on everybody and I'm trying really hard not to.
Yeah.
But what I'm finding in the house at the minute, especially the last couple of days, is everybody wants it to be about them. And I get that. I want it to be about me. Simon wants it to be about him. Morgan wants it to be about her. You know? And so, like, it's a lot of emotions all fighting and competing.
Yeah.
To be seen.
Because everybody's different and everybody wants something different.
And we all feel the pain. And we all feel like our own pain is bigger than somebody else's.
Yeah. Yes, like we say grief isn't a competition, but in a household, you're a household of adults.
Yeah.
It is. It has an impact on how you do anything.
And it's just natural, you know?
Yeah, of course it is. But it doesn't make it any easier.
No, and it's just another stress, isn't it, on top of that, just to try and manage all of that. And everybody's ill, which doesn't help, but I guess that's because, you know, everybody's run down. So everyone's ill, which then, you know, then I feel angry, like, why is it about you when it's not about you, but you have to be so fucking ill it becomes about you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everything's just irritating me.
Right. Well, that's like, you know, it's normal, that, don't you?
Yeah, it's just difficult, and we don't really have anything big planned for tomorrow. I've just kind of left it to take the day. I've took the day off work. Sydney's took the day off work. I asked Simon to take tonight off work, but he doesn't want to, so he'll sleep most of tomorrow. So then that feels shitty that I'll probably just spend most of tomorrow on my own.
That might be easier.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I haven't really heard from many people. I don't know whether I expected to, but I think we spoke about that a lot with guests and with between ourselves, you know, how. And Tasha came around last night and I was talking to her and I said to her, in a way, it's a good thing because I do want some normality to the day. She said I was overthinking it, and perhaps I am, but I just think with my other kids' birthdays, I don't necessarily see my family. I don't necessarily hear from them. You know, we're all pretty shit and we forget each other's birthdays, and it's quite standard. And, you know, when my brother comes, he has to turn up with like 300 quid in his pocket to dish out to all the nieces and nephews for, you know, every birthday that is forgotten. That's like a standard thing.
That's the norm, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was saying to Tasha that in a way, I like that that's kind of how tomorrow has gone too, because I feel really conscious at the minute. I think it's because the other kids are struggling because of the time of year, but I feel really conscious of them not always living in Bradley's shadow. You know, like, why does everybody get to turn up and do something massive for his birthday, but we don't do it every year for them, you know, like.
Yeah.
I still feel like Bradley's birthday should be the same as if he was here. And if he was here, the chances are every fucker will forget. So, you know, I feel like that's quite normal.
Yeah, makes it more normal. Doesn't make it any less painful that he's not here. But there is a normality to it. Maybe when it's his 21st, because you're planning other things, that's a big thing to plan
Yeah.
for. So that'll be a bit different. Maybe when he's 25 or, like, I know I don't want to speed the loss on, but it's keeping it real. It's keeping it, he's not here, and the other kids. I think it's right that you've not planned anything. It still hurts when everybody seems to have forgot, or they're not going to be there, but they were there last year.
Yeah, and that was important for me last year.
Last year was important. This year's more important to you.
Yes, and weirdly, I feel it's more important that the other children feel seen.
Yes, yeah.
I don't. Can you imagine, like, being a sibling of their age whose sibling died? When someone dies, we put them on a pedestal and we only ever remember the good stuff, and we only ever remember them for the brilliant stuff that they did, and they're no longer here to piss anybody off or, to be naughty or to get in trouble or to be moaned at. So they only ever get spoken about in a positive way for the bloody brilliant things that they did. And then can you imagine being a sibling having to live in that limelight all of the time?
Yeah. Yeah, it must be difficult.
Be so damn hard to feel that you're competing with that all of the time.
Yeah.
And for me at the minute, I just feel really conscious of that. I don't know why. I don't really know whether it's his birthday that's triggering it. But,
maybe.
I just feel really conscious of I don't want to create more issues. They've got enough to handle with their grief without feeling like they're living in the shadow of somebody else.
What about coming up with some things that are not perfect about Brad? Because I do. I only last night, I said to Rob something about, Rob was watching a video, a funny video on YouTube about a woman trying to park a car. And then he found this other one. He said, this is a video I've videoed of your mum trying to reverse into a parking space. And it was a car in a tree. And so they was both laughing. And I went, I said, and she was a nightmare and all. I said, Emily never stuck up for me. I said, the last time that I actually reversed into a tree, she went, I'm telling Dad about this one, Mum. I'm just letting you know. Don't even bother asking me, not telling, because I'm going to tell him. So she was a right tickle tackle. So I brought it up last night. So is there anything of stories like that of Brad that are not making him into this perfect, laid back angel that he was?
He ate his food in his bedroom all the time, and that used to drive me insane. And the others don't do that because they know I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? He would spend far too long on his PlayStation, and he probably wouldn't be as sociable as the others at family gatherings. He would be. Morgan's always the first to leave, but Bradley would be the second. There's plenty of things that he didn't do. He was also just so laid back that genuinely, like, he just give in. So it does make it, it does make it really hard.
I suppose, again, though, if you said, be Morgan first, then Brad leaving the room when we've got company, it's still not about them again, isn't it? It's so hard for us not to bring them up, and every subject, on every conversation, we're clutching at straws to try and keep them in all the conversations. I was talking about this to
the therapist because, like, in the beginning, when they first died, it was quite easy to bring them up in conversation all of the time because recent memories, recent events still involve them.
Yeah.
And now, like, coming up 2 years later, when you talk about something we did last year or something we did a few weeks ago, or they're not in it.
No.
We can't bring them up.
Unless we're bringing something up to do with Room to Grieve, and then they are in
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. Unless we're bringing up something that we're actively doing to create that legacy for them. And that's why for us it's really important that we do that, because it allows us to talk about them, because otherwise I do think, God, when, like, without it looking forced and really frigging obvious every time you speak to the kids to kind of be like, but do you remember Bradley in that one? It's hard, isn't it?
It is hard. I mean, today I'm actually sat wearing Emily's red boots. I've been out in them today, and they're like a red Doc Martin, and they are a bit of a conversation piece. You know, they've got a bit of a platform on. People say, "Oh, I like your boots." Straight away, they're my daughters.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
You know, you can't wear it in a Bradley's really, but
no. So it's like
but I do look for things that will bring conversations up about them to keep them alive.
It's hard, isn't it?
It is hard, yeah.
And you find yourself talking every day, like general conversations now. And rarely does his name get brought up. The place I talk about him most, really weirdly, is at work.
All right.
Because at work I don't have so many general conversations with people. You know, you're all busy working, doing your thing, and you only tend, in our office, we only tend to chirp up and say something if there's a specific subject. And I'm very good at always bringing that around to,
Yeah.
I wasn't here, I was off work then because Bradley died, or, you know, I'm very good at just making sure that people just remember. But I find that easy, but I think it's because I don't have that worry, whereas I worry here of, you know, managing everybody's emotions. I've got no one's emotions to manage at work other than my own, so I can just speak more freely. And if people feel uncomfortable, they just start typing, you know, like I actually don't care. And so that's just a lot easier. Do you know what I mean? Which is weird. But yeah. And sometimes, this is awful, sometimes I like to see the discomfort in people's faces. Because it kind of mirrors my own.
I can't comment on that.
I kind of feel like
the person who likes to make somebody cry, I cannot comment on that.
See, it's not for me to make them cry. I just like to make them feel
discomfort,
that uncomfortable, like. And I just think, think how uncomfortable you feel that. Think how I feel, and gives me a weird satisfaction.
Yeah, makes it normal, I think. Mine's not. Satisfaction for the rest of the day.
I don't know. Tomorrow is going to be quite fluid. There's not really much planned, which I think is probably the best way. As you know, nothing that we do, no matter how big or small, is enough, and nothing's going to bring them back.
No, it's not. You just got to get through the day. Like we have to get through Christmas Day, like we have to get through New Year's Eve. We just got to get through the day.
And the reality is, it is just another day.
Yeah, of course it is. But you won't miss him tomorrow more than you miss him today or the day after. It won't be any sadder tomorrow. It's just another day.
Yeah.
And you'll get through it. And you'll manage everybody else's emotions. You'll hold back on yours, and you will make sure everybody else is okay, no matter what. So this is your little moan today.
It is.
Not a moan, but you're getting it out. You're getting it out your system. And then tomorrow you will snap back into mum, wife, look her after her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a word?
Yeah. It's an apt one, but I'm not sure it's a English one, but yeah.
And you'll be fine tomorrow.
I went to my second therapy this week. Jaw is still out. Not sure that's for me.
I had a friend come up to me at Fat Club on Tuesday and say, you've not spoke about Bec's therapy.
Oh.
Yeah, so you was the topic of conversation at Fat Club.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's probably a little bit too much to go through. I don't know how much you want to share, or do you just want to say?
I can't even remember where we left it up to sharing. I think
you hadn't even been to your first face-to-face therapy. On the last time we spoke, you'd only had the talk therapy. People don't even know what happened.
It's a whole roller coaster. Oh, blimey. Oh, God.
Can I just say, part of me did think,
There's a common denominator here.
Yeah.
I thought that too.
And you do have track record before we've even spoke about my therapy and other therapies in general. You do have a track record of being guarded and stuff. I'm not saying with what you've described, what you went through wasn't acceptable. And I think the powers that be, should we call them, realise that.
Yeah.
So you've got should we just say you've got an alternative therapist now, that you didn't gel with your first one, which goes to show that it is very, very common that if you meet the first therapist, if you don't get on with them, you need to not
and it's
take
okay to say. Because I was scared about that, wasn't I? About going back and saying,
we don't want to be rude.
I can't sit with you
don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, but if that person isn't right for you, it can actually damage you. It can set you back even more by having that wrong person. Yeah, it did. It took a week off work. That's unheard of.
Yeah. I crumbled after that first session. I'd put so much into it as being, this is what I need. This is my answers. This is, this is going to really help me, and waited 18 months for it. And then, went to that session and it just wasn't the one.
No.
They said to me that I'm quite a challenging, confrontational person, which I am.
Okay. You acknowledge that, though. But
I'm well aware, I mean, it's part of being challenging and confrontational, right? I'm well aware I do it. But it's a defense mechanism in part too. And they said to me that the therapist met me with the same energy. And so it became a standoff. So that was awful. I also got a phone call that same week from Talking Therapy to say that I didn't qualify. Shock. I mean, horrific questions. We said before, they weren't suitable. But I didn't qualify for therapy, so please could I just ring Cruise? And he went, I'm not really sure what they are. Shall I Google them? And he Googled them and he went, they're a bereavement therapy, they're a bereavement service. You could call them. I was like, right, okay, thanks.
With me, I would say, right, I've got to ring this person back now who's relying on therapy. I all the information for her. Oh, we can't help you, but here's somebody who can. Here's the telephone number. Here's the website. Here's whatever. That just shows how wrong they dealt with you.
Yeah. But then I got a new therapist and she's lovely. Absolutely lovely. And the jury's just out on whether therapy is for me in general is for me, because the first meeting that I had with the new one, it really showed up some things I really didn't think it was going to, or a complete surprise to me. Didn't even realize they were going through my head. And, that made some sense. She said to me when I went back this week, how did you feel after it? I said, I feel like you've given me some control back, because you've given me a little bit of understanding of quite where my feelings are starting from, because they, not even linked to my grief. So weird and bizarre, but apparently that's quite normal. And I just hadn't joined the dots. So I feel like that's given me some control back. But then that in itself, being me with the personality that I am, has then made me go, well, I've got the control back for now, so I don't need you. So then, but that's just my personality. So then this week's, she found it really hard to get anything out of me, because I kind of went into stoic mode again. So then she gave me some clay to play with. And I mean,
what did you make?
She gave me this ball of clay, and it was about that big, and it stunk for a start. So I'm just touching it with my fingers like this. I can't even bring myself to put my hands on it, and I'm literally just doing this with it in my hands because I couldn't bring myself to touch it. So by the end of the session, she went, "Oh, you've made a square. Did you mean to? And you think, no, just didn't want to touch it." And she was like, "Can you, with the clay, show me how your grief feels?" And I was like, "Not really." Yeah. She was like, "Why not?" I was like, "Because it's this big." I was like, "It's not big enough. It's not heavy enough." And she was like, "Oh, did you want the whole 12 kilogram block?" I was like, "I want all the clay in the world." There's no way I can show you with this, how my grief feels. It's just not possible.
What
You know, I
about
can still pick this
stamping
up.
it down on the table, like,
Well,
go,
I can still pick this up for a start. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she was like, can you show me with the clay how angry you feel? And I was like, well, it's a bit hard. I can't really squeeze it very hard. And she was like, oh, okay. And then she said, do you think next week we'll get the sandpit out and maybe you can play in the sandpit and that will make you think of some emotions without engaging your mind? And, you know, and you think, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't see myself pushing trucks and things round in sand, you know, like drawing pictures in my finger in some sand. I'm really not too sure what I'm going to have to do.
See, I'd have to do something productive. If I had sand, I'd need to make a mortar and do a little bit of like, what's it called? When you go in between the bricks.
I just don't understand
I forgot all the name.
The cement, like.
What's it called when you do that? Oh, my grief brain's bad today. Anyway, go on, carry on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to have to do with this sand.
No.
I just don't see playing with sand is going to make me open up about my emotions.
But give it a try.
She told me if that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to write out a timeline of events throughout my life. I've got to think of an event as early back as I can. So let's say when I was 2, if I can think that far back. And then I have to think of every event that I can think of that happened in that year, days out, Christmases, birthdays. And I have to put it on a timeline. And at the top of the timeline, I have to write the positive things that I remember about it. And at the bottom, the negative. And then I have to do that all the way through my life. I mean, all the way through my life. She said it will take a long time. And she said if that doesn't work, then I have to draw boxes and then write all my emotions down and then put them into boxes. Okay? So I can't see. I don't know. I am trying and I am doing what she's asking.
Okay. Watch this space.
I've got another 10 sessions.
I think you might need 110. But
well, I did say to her, what happens when I get to the end of the 12
sessions? It's a lot of boxes
sessions?
that you're going to fill.
Yeah. And she said, oh, then we put you on a wait list for someone else. And, you know, and you think, oh, fucking hell. What's the fucking point?
Do you know what? There'll be these boxes for all the therapists in your area, and they'll have 2 boxes.
It will just be do not touch.
Put your name on the box. Put your name in the box if you're willing to see this person. That box will be empty. Right, they'll all be in the other box.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I'd see as a challenge. I'd put my name on your box. I'd sort you out.
Yeah, well, you and I are a little bit different, aren't we? You know, and I know we spoke about this and we haven't publicly spoke about this, so I don't know whether I'll cut this out or not, but you and I spoke a bit how we feel that we are not really seen the same by other people that are grieving, by other child loss mums. And that's really been playing on my mind a bit recently, in the whole, like, I think it's because I'm feeling emotionally vulnerable, I'm then overthinking, and it's like, you know, am I really just doing this wrong? Like, it's weird how there are so many preconceptions and sort of ideals on people who think how you should be grieving, and because we show up a little bit differently, we don't really fit anywhere, do we? We don't really fit in any of the groups that we're in.
Well, you can only be who you are. When we first started doing this, we said from the beginning, we've got to be us, because you couldn't keep up being something you're not.
No.
And it's too stressful. We are who we are. And I think quite a lot of people do get us, but there'll be people that don't. But that's
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But I can't. So if you were struggling, say you're struggling this morning, there's certain things that happened. Simon was crying. He was in his sleep.
Yeah.
And you're having a tough time at the moment, trying to think of everybody else. And I wouldn't be me if I sent you a sad poem. Yeah. I would be me when I text you back and say, I'm out on a walk why don't you go out on a walk and get off your fat ass and get some fresh air? Because that will make you feel better. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is us. And we can
Yeah.
only be us, because what would you appreciate more? Being called a fat ass? Or
When I send you a text yesterday and say, I've got to go to sandpit therapy, and you send me back a picture of a bucket and spade on the beach and take the piss, like,
yeah,
instead of being like, oh, that will really help you, we all know it won't.
no. I even found one with a pair of sunglasses linked over the bucket. I was, you sent me that text. I wasn't like, oh God, she's been let down with this. This isn't going to work for her. I was pissing myself laughing as I was looking for sandpit images.
Yeah.
Right? We are different, but there's probably loads of people out there that are the same as us as well.
I know.
And
I know. I think it's just that, and I think other people might find this too, that when you go looking for the help in the groups and the online chats, most people who look for that help and the online chats are people who are different to us, and therefore we don't really seem to be the same. And so I think, I think we're just maybe in the wrong groups.
why don't we start up our own group then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I just think this shit is hard enough.
This shit is hard enough, but there's so many people in them groups that don't speak. Yeah?
Well, that's
And
true.
you get the same ones that send the sad things. That is what they need. Yeah?
100%.
I will dip in and out of it. And some days I will be glad of those poems. The nice ones, the uplifting ones. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just of robins, but whatever, rainbows, white feathers. Some days I need that, and I might not comment, but I will still look and I'll smile, I'll cry, whatever. And so we are like them other people, but we're just not as vocal about it.
That's
and
true.
We can then do our own thing as well. So we're all different, but we all take a little bit out
That's
of
true. I suppose what you're saying is I only see a snippet of what they're posting. I'm not seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah, and
that's true. They could be just the same as us.
Yeah, there might be 50 people in that group, but only 5 people talking. The other 45 might be like you.
And they might not have somebody like you to send a text message to.
Yeah.
So they're putting it in that group because they haven't got, their Karen or their Bec to send it to.
Yeah.
No,
But
that's fair enough.
We're not just here for each other. I have lovely messages. I deal with most of the messages because you are so busy work-wise. And I'm a nice person. And
because what am I? Challenging and confrontational.
You're just fucking hard work.
Yeah, nobody wants me to be nice.
No. We each have our qualities.
We do, and it's not one of mine.
But I will tell you this now: you would still be my go-to person, no matter what reply I got back from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But don't send me poems. They make me cry.
No, I don't ever send you poems.
Give me a headache. I'm crying.
I don't ever send you poems. No. Don't worry about that.
At the moment as well, you are overthinking everything.
I am. I know I am.
Yeah, you are overthinking everything, and I can tell you that because I'm allowed to. And also, it's other stressful things like work, feeling poorly, Simon's job, Simon's stress and anxiety and everything. And
my job's changing, isn't it?
All the issues with your job. All then added on top of the grief, it makes grief is hard to deal with every single day, but throw in everyday life shit. It's so easy to go under and think, I can't cope with this. That's why I've been walking. I've had a really, really stressful time with things that have been happening in our lives. And I have had to get up early and go for walks before work. Yeah. That's the only way I've got through days at the moment with a smile on my face. I mean, this morning we left the house. It was like 1 degree. We got up on the hills and it was snowing. Right, and I thought to myself, why did I put a bloody hat on? My ears were blue. But soon forgot about it because the fresh air, the views, I could go with my son. We're together. The chit
Nice.
chat, it just doesn't stop chatting all the way. Not. Didn't say one word. Done 5K.
I was going to say that's so
5K.
nice.
And
I was just about to say that's so nice because he doesn't speak.
He did say that. He did actually speak well. He said,
"What's for dinner?"
No. It's too muddy in that way. Not going down that way. It's too muddy. Get mud on my shoes. Okay. And, something else I forgot to tell you yesterday. Some days things are just sadder than others. And
No shit.
You just got to take it as it comes. Right? Just deal with it as it happens and not overthink things and not think, oh, this is going to be hard. So, just accept it's going to be hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was driving to work. Nels in the car with me and my son. And I think it's Kate Garraway. I'm going to have a disco moment now. So I want to play some ABBA and Dancing Queen. So I sang all the way to work, Dancing Queen. His face, like thunder. All the way to work. Yeah? Can you picture the face? Can you picture the a rolling of eyes? Oh. I used to sing on the top of my voice with my daughter anywhere we went. Anywhere and everywhere we'd sing. I'd have my choice and she'd have her choice. And just to annoy her, I chose the same thing every time. And sang the words wrong on purpose. Hard to do that, right? And I was sat in that car singing my heart off yesterday with tears running down my face because I thought, I've not got what I had. But I still had a smile on my face while I was singing and crying at the same time.
No, that's good.
Yeah. So, things are shit and singing in the car's never ever going to be the same again. But
no,
I did it.
Yeah.
I went to stab him, but I didn't. Nobody injured.
Yeah. It's just, everything's just overwhelming, isn't it?
It's so overwhelming. We overthink it. And I can't remember. 10 minutes ago, before we came onto here, I started crying about something. Sat in the lounge and I just burst into tears. Do you know what? I can't remember what that was.
Yeah.
And it's because I brought something up in my head that made me cry.
Yeah,
going over things. And so tomorrow, that's going to be heightened because of the day.
Yeah.
It is. It's going to be heightened. So accept that. I think it's going to be a tough day.
I'm just going to have to try not to be horrible to anybody. Because, yeah, I can be a right bitch and everybody's really sensitive and, I want it to be all about me and they want it to be all about them.
I know.
And I do try, but I'm just not very good at it, Do
you have a timetable and say, right, between 1 and 2, it's about you, Sydney. It's between 2 and 3, it's about you, Simon. And mine is between 3 and 7, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm the mum.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Somebody said to me, I've got one of those faces that just have subtitles, I'm not very good at not letting everybody know how I feel.
Yeah.
I've got such a resting bitch face at the best of times.
My friend Joanne had that face and we used to go out, try to trap off, go to a nightclub.
Yeah.
I soon realised, don't go with Joanne. She just got fuck off written over her face. I didn't get chatted up once. She said, I don't want anybody said I do. Just say it.
But you're warning them all off.
Yeah, you're spoiling it.
Yeah. You and your face.
Yeah. It was best when she was comatose. She'd had that much to drink and she would lay on the seats. So I just put all the coats on top of her and went dancing. I had a really good night that night.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll get through tomorrow.
We will.
Day. The kids will be fine. Yeah. They'll do it. Just play it by ear. See the way they want to take it. just go with the flow, because you can
Yeah.
celebrate Bradley on here any day.
Oh, I've
Every
planned all
day,
my
any
posts for the
Yeah.
weekend for Bradley. So, sat and cried over them. That gave me something to do this morning, a little bit of focus.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to have mac and cheese for dinner for him. That's his favourite.
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
Oh, I wish I was. I love mac and cheese. I love your mac and cheese.
Yeah, not a fan. But I'll do it for my boy. I'm just going to make a really nice salad to go with it, so that I just can have the tiniest little bit and hide it in the salad.
Yeah.
That's in my mind. That's what I've planned. His friends did say to me, I heard them talking, and they're planning on going to the pub tomorrow night and meeting between them to raise a drink to Bradley. So I might go and gate crash that, but I haven't told them, because then if I don't want to go, I don't know.
Yeah, if you don't feel like it, it's too much. But I think it'd be nice, Sam.
Yeah, but I feel really comforted at the fact that I know they're all doing it.
That's nice. That's lovely.
Yeah, that
good lads. They're really good lads.
Yeah, and I didn't mention it to them because I didn't want to feel, like I say, this whole thing, I've got this real conscious thing of other people at the minute. I didn't want to feel like I was forcing it on them, so that made me feel really nice, so that I just know that they're doing it by themselves.
Yeah.
And it's something that they've planned and wanted to do.
It's their idea. That's lovely.
Did you know, though, I'm going to do a post about this tomorrow, but I'll just tell you now, it will go out afterwards anyway, that I've never put this connection together before, but Bradley's obviously born on Valentine's Day. So he's Valentine's baby. And when he died, Ellie wrote a poem about Venus and you, about, we always link Venus to Bradley. And Venus is a goddess of love. So they all kind of tie in and link together, and I'd never seen the connection before.
If you try hard enough, anything will link together.
Fuck off, let me have that one.
It's a little shite, that.
Well, I liked it.
Yeah, I'm only kidding. And your poem.
Yeah. So yeah, we've cheered me up anyway. I was miserable, so at least I can go and cook dinner now and not be some rude to everybody while I'm doing it.
What does being rude to anybody bring to the equation?
At the time, it makes me feel better.
Why?
Because I feel like I get some satisfaction from pissing somebody else off or making somebody else feel the same way as I feel. I mean, why else is anybody rude to anybody? You feel some satisfaction from it, right?
Though, for you.
It is, but it's because I'm in shutdown mode, because I'm overwhelmed, and so forcing me not to shut down, like to still keep functioning and cooking, makes me angry.
Right.
But I don't get that overwhelmed shutdown mode very often.
No.
So then I don't get angry very often.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all it is.
Got another phone screen.
Again. Yeah, perhaps I need to just learn to start smashing phones. It seems to work for you.
Feels good.
Yeah, you need to stop smashing phones.
I actually just dropped that. I was only having a wee and it fell on the floor. I didn't smash it. I've been quite calm this week.
I don't know. If I go back through my text messages this week, I've nearly smashed my laptop. I've nearly smashed my iPad.
Yeah, it was company's house. I was trying to file our annual return. And it was very, very annoying. I won't go into it.
Then you were like, sorry if there's spelling mistakes, but I can't see my screen anymore because I've smashed it. Right. Yeah. Brilliant. You need to back your phone up.
Yes,
too.
I know. I will do. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah. There's too much precious stuff on that phone for you not to back it up.
I know.
I have an external hard drive plugged into my laptop. I back it up to iCloud and I back it up and pay Dropbox. I'm not taking any chances. It cost me about 40 quid a month, but I'm not taking any chances.
I can't pay anything out. My heart pays for anything.
Do you know what? All of my pictures, my videos and my memories of Bradley are worth more money than I would ever own.
I'll have to find somewhere to do it for free.
I'm not risking that. Mine's backed up in so many places.
Yeah, I've got
you're so brave.
I've got a WizKid son, he'll sort some out. I'll do that.
You so won't.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, obviously, but I'll find out. I'll Google it. You're too technical. Right, you feel better. You'll get through the day.
Yeah.
You'll get through the weekend.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
happy.
you.
Yeah. It's in all our hearts and minds, and
Yeah, I know.
yeah. Getting up to mischief with them.
Yeah. If only love could have saved them, eh?
I know. But they'll be waiting for us when we get there.
Yeah, they will. And we'll do them proud.
We will do.
It's all we can do.
Yeah. And don't be worried that nobody likes you in these chat rooms, that you're too bullshit. Because I like you.
When I'm not feeling so overwhelmed and so sorry for myself, I won't give a shit. But, I do have a sensitive side sometimes. It doesn't come out very often.
No,
I know it drives
nice.
you insane when it does come out. So,
No,
don't worry. It
makes
go
you
against
human. It makes you human. We're all normal. Not Norman. Who's Norman? We're all normal. Yeah. And we'll get through this shit together. We have got our own tribe, and we'll carry on tribing. And so grab yourself a cuppa, find a comfortable spot, and we'll journey through grief together.
Thank you.
Thank you.